Planning to have a total hip replacement? Here's something your doctor probably won't tell you. That's, how do you take a shower? Hi, I'm Pamela, and I had a total hip replacement almost 3 years ago. And I went to all the doctor's appointments. Nobody talked to me about how I could get cleaned up myself when I got home. In this video, I'm going to take you into my actual shower and show you what worked for me at the time, what I thought was going to be a good idea but wasn't the greatest idea, and how I ended up navigating into the shower in a way where I felt safe taking my shower in the days after my surgery. Just to be clear, I am not a medical professional and I'm not giving you medical advice. In the months and weeks before my surgery, I did exactly what you're doing right now. I went to YouTube looking for information that could help me better understand what my experience might be like. But all that I found were videos from the doctor's perspective and hardly anything from an actual patient's perspective. That's why I decided to go ahead and create this channel. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I encourage you to go ahead and do that right now. Ring the little bell icon. That way you'll be notified each time I release a brand new video. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you what that next video is going to be. The incision for my surgery was what's called the anterior approach, meaning the incision was made on the front side of my hip. The incision was covered in what to me looked kind of like a little plastic bandage, which was covered with a big, thick white pad of cotton, which was covered with tape, kind of holding that big, thick pad down. The only instructions I got was to not let that get wet and to take it off for 48 hours. And then after those 48 hours, I was free to go ahead and shower because that kind of plastic bandage would keep the incision safe. Now I'm showing you my actual shower. This shower is 25 years old and it is by no means accessible for somebody who might need a walker, certainly not for a wheelchair. And so I'm going to talk to you about exactly how I navigated this. The first challenge that I had with my shower was, if you can kind of pan down a little bit here, there's this kind of bump that I needed to step over in order to step down into the shower. Also, this doorway is not very wide. What I ended up doing was asking my partner, Bill, who's holding the camera for us right now, to help me out with a couple of things. We do have a shower head that's on a hose, so I asked him to take the shower head off of the bracket so that way I could use it with the hose kind of to wash myself. And then we also already had a teak shower bench, and so I asked Bill to put that shower bench in the middle of the shower for me. So let's come on into the shower and I'll kind of talk about what was good, what was not so good about those brilliant ideas that I had. So now I'm stepping down into the shower. Challenge number one that I had with my great plan was with this teak shower bench. We've had that bench for a long time, at least 10 years. And the thing that I liked about teak is that it's supposedly wood that works well in wet areas, which is why it's a shower bench. What I didn't ever fully realize, because I never actually tried to sit on it in the shower before, is our bench was really kind of slippery. And I don't know if it was slippery because of the nature of teak or if it was just slippery because of years of soap scum on it. The other challenge for me was it's actually kind of low. So I had to use my walker. I had my walker in front of me. Kind of had to use this to navigate myself down onto the bench. Because I had the incision in the front of my hip, I just kind of extended my leg out. Now I know people may have had the incision, the posterior approach, which is on the back of your hip. Hopefully your doctor gave you information about sitting, because that's something you would want to be mindful of if you have a bench like this. So the next problem that I had was then reaching for the shower head. Once I got the shower head and I was trying to kind of wash myself, I realized that I asked Bill to put the bench kind of in the wrong position. It should have been much closer to the back of the wall, so that way I had more flexibility with the shower head. Also, I found it really difficult to kind of hold the shower head up here, try and wash my hair, try and wash my body. So I think if I had been a little bit closer to the front of the shower, that maybe might have been a little bit easier. So what happened then was, once I was sort of finished with this shower, I realized I was sitting on the parts of my body that I also really kind of wanted to get clean and fresh. So then I still kind of needed to navigate myself up. I used the walker as well to get myself to stand up, so that way then I could kind of, wash all the middle parts of my body that I had been previously sitting on. What I found was this setup that I used did not work for me at all whatsoever. What did work for me was a couple of days later, I took my next shower. I used the walker, brought it into the shower, just stood up like I would be taking just a regular shower like I did this morning. I was able to rest my weight onto the walker, so that way I wasn't feeling necessarily all that wobbly. I had the water coming straight from the shower head at the back of the shower, and I was able then to wash my hair, wash under my arms and all of my lady parts just the same way as I would be if I was taking just a regular shower. The other thing that I had that worked really, really well for me was a suction cup grab bar. This is one that I've actually also had for a very long time. The way that this works is, I think you have to get the suction cups damp, press it against your shower wall, and lock it shut. Now, the suction cup grab bar is by no means something that you want to rely on for your entire weight. If you feel like you need something like that, what you need is a shower bar that's actually screwed into the studs behind the tile in your shower. But for me, between having my walker to lean on and the grab bar kind of to give me a little bit of stability, I found that super helpful. And then, of course, getting out of the shower was navigate the walker through here. I believe I actually ended up having it sideways. Hold on to the walker, step through, leading with my non-surgical leg, and then just kind of like dragging the surgical leg behind me. So that's how I ended up taking a shower, my very first shower, and then a slightly better shower after my total hip replacement. And then finally, if you are interested in a shirt like this, I just had a joint replacement. This is something that I just discovered on Amazon. I will put a link to this shirt in the notes below the video. The ladies watching this video may have the question in the back of their mind of, well, how am I supposed to shave my legs? For me, the answer is, I didn't. I am well aware that for some women, that is something that's important. You can actually buy contraptions that you kind of hook your razor into that have a long handle, and you can reach down and shave your legs that way. I've never used one, but other people who have put comments on some of my other videos have told me that they liked those contraptions. I'll put a link to one of those in the notes below this video as well, so that may be something that you might want to check out if shaving your legs is important to you after your surgery. If this video is helpful, this would be a great time for you to give it a thumbs up. That way more people will be likely to find this particular video. I did a different video a couple of months ago about using the toilet after my total hip replacement, and that's actually one of my most popular videos. What about you? If you've already had a hip replacement, put in the comments below this video how you navigated showering after your surgery. Or if you're planning on having a hip replacement and you've got questions, put your questions in the comments below this video too. At the time that I'm recording this video, my channel is still small enough where I can read and respond to every single comment that people put under any of my videos. Finally, as a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do that now. Click that little bell icon so that way you'll find out when my next video comes out. And that video is going to be step by step what the instructions were that I had for the day before and the morning of my surgery to hopefully minimize the chance of infection. We all hear those horror stories of people picking up an infection at the hospital. It's possible that they actually brought that from home. So I'm going to go into those details in my next video. Until next time, take care.